commercial refrigeration. IFG team, like I said before, this meeting is for you guys. We want you guys to feel completely and totally comfortable with what we're presenting and the corporate deal that we have worked out. I don't think we need to go into who our competition is. We know that I think without a doubt we're focusing on Webstron's Vanco products, and as well as K-Tom's Motac items, as well as anybody else that has a off-brand or a secondary brand of refrigeration that's out there. We will pull some comparisons into Atosa and show you why the Atosa benefits us and how we present our program. So we'll get into that as well. When we talk about our commercial refrigeration, Admiral Crafts, we talk about two primary lines, Grista and U-Star. The Grista product line is primarily what you guys are going to be carrying. You do have some, I mean, obviously you have access to all of it, but in your facilities in Kansas City, St. Louis, Morrow, Georgia, all those facilities pretty much have a lot of Grista product in there with a little bit of U-Star mixed in. FRS is 100% gas only, and we're currently in the works with Tampa to work out an arrangement so we will have product on their floor as well. So when we talk about this refrigeration, again, we are literally going head to head with Webstron and their Vanco products. Reach-in, salad preps, prep tables, pizza preps, under counters, you guys can read as well as I can. Back bar units, glass rosters, chef bases, deli cases, kind of the whole ball of wax. This slide is slightly old. We're probably closer to 80 or 85 SKUs right now on the refrigeration side. So we've got a pretty good offering going. Here's a good tip right from the get-go. This is probably one that you guys want to write down. If you are accessing any of our products, refrigeration products on AQ, and you see call for pricing, right? You'll see call for pricing. That means that that product is not stocked domestically in the United States. Why do we have it there? So that people that build containers have access to that information. Typically, those items are like we only do black merchandisers where we offer black and as well as white merchandisers, you know, as far as a complete offering. So my point is when you see call for pricing, understand it's going to be an extremely long lead time and you're going to have minimums or MOQs put on you if you want to purchase those. So again, not to sound negative here, but try to move the customer if they want a white merchandiser into a black merchandiser. Otherwise, you're going to kind of be forced into selling somebody else's product, if that makes any sense. Natasha, if we could go to the next slide. So product applications, and I think that the pandemic taught us all that import refrigeration and refrigeration at this level is not what it used to be. You actually see a lot of these types of products of Vanco, Motac, Grista, again other brands, Colitech, Valor, Sapura. Any of those buying group, Centaur, any of those buying group private labels that you see, that's kind of who our competition is in those arenas. Again, we cover the whole gamut: restaurants, bars, catering halls, nursing homes, community churches, etc. So really the product pretty much applies almost anywhere. I do heed caution, and I think now's a really good time to bring it up. I'm assuming a lot of your leads and a lot of what you guys come across comes from telephone calls. I like to ask one key question whenever they're going through this process. What is the product that they're currently using? If it's a pizza shop and they have a Randell pizza prep table and they like the Randell pizza prep table, to try and sell them a lesser brand, you're probably going to do yourselves and your customer a disservice. If they were not satisfied with that, or they're not satisfied with the price, then that's a good time for you to lead into that. Natasha, does that kind of make sense to everybody? To whenever I say that?
Yeah, absolutely. It makes sense to me. So if it doesn't to anybody else, please speak up though.
Yeah, exactly. And again, we just want to sell the right product to to the right customer, if you guys understand what I mean. You don't want to, if their expectations are for a Delafield or a Randell, you probably want to try and stick in that same arena of quality of product, if you know what I mean. Because again, there's a difference between a $2,500 pizza prep and a $5,000 or a $4,500 pizza prep. There are differences in those. That just like to point that out. If we could go to the next one, do's and don'ts on on selling refrigeration. We kind of just covered this, guys. You know, where are you putting the item? That question really needs to be added to it, or that bullet point. What are you currently using? Because that gives you a good understanding of who your customer is. Again, the other important points to bring up: what is the ambient air temperature inside their kitchen in the middle of summer? How often are they going to be using the unit? Are they going to have that unit on a line? Will they be opening it 4 times a minute or 14 or 20 times a minute? So all based on recovery time, and are you giving the customer the right product? And of course, do you have proper airflow? Do you have the unit set up and installed properly so that the unit can actually breathe? If we could go to the next one. Again, we kind of perused over some of the competitors earlier. Again, Avanco, Atosa, obviously, Motac, which is K-Tom's private label, Central Products, which they have 3 or 4 different brands of refrigeration out there: Supera, Bison, Spartan, Servwork, Kelvinator, Arctic Air. The Trimark brands, obviously Centaur and Kitma. And there's, again, so we all kind of understand that's the primary arena where we compete. Do we compete with the national brands, True, Beverage Air, Continental, Turbo, etc.? We do, absolutely. But then I'd have to go back and refer to the previous slide. What are the expectations, and what are your customers' expectations of that product, and will it perform the way that you guys want it to? Again, certainly nothing wrong with the product. We just need to point it out, if you know what I mean. Okay, so we look at the product features, which should be the next one. Yes, all stainless steel, 430 stainless steel wrapped around the unit, standard locking doors, recessed handles, R290 refrigerant, adjustable shelves, removable gaskets, Carrel or Dixel controllers. We move from one to the other. All of our uprights are bottom mount, just to keep you guys in the loop. We only sell on the Adcraft side bottom mount refrigeration. Everything comes standard with 4-inch casters, and they are attached whenever you do receive the product. This is a $1,500 box, folks. So let's again, not to diminish the product, because it's a great, wonderful product, but there's not a lot of bells, buzzers, and whistles whenever you strip a unit down and you're looking to go out and compete against Webstront and K-Tom. Make sense? Okay, we do some product comparisons here. This is really for you guys that have had success or see a lot of Atosa out there. Is Atosa a better unit? Is Atosa an equal to unit? I think it's an equal to unit. You know, we've got Rick on the line, who, as all of you know, spent time with Atosa. I look at it from a very simple perspective of, let's look at the compressor sizes. Let's look at the weight of the units. 60% of the time, our compressor sizes are the same. 40-ish% of the time, our compressor sizes are a little bit bigger. Why do I point it out? Doesn't make it good, bad, or indifferent. It just makes us an equal to or better than. That's kind of what the Admiral Craft mentality is whenever we talk about our products. If we could go to the next slide. Anybody, any questions on the comparisons? Anybody have anything to say about the Atosa or the Atosa comparisons that we made? Again, not diminishing their product or mine, just slight differences.
Nope. One question,
Yep.
Jeff. We want to know, can you confirm any restrictions on warranties for food truck and trailer customers?
So that has always been a gray area for us, Natasha. And typically what we have done and what we continue to do is stand up and warranty that product for the full period of time.
Okay,
No,
great.
no, there's no restrictions. The only restriction would be making sure that our service company can get to your food truck and the food truck's not moving around on us, because that does
Okay.
seem to be a little bit of a pickle. That would probably be the only, little asterisk, regarding warranty, Natasha.
Yeah, and
Got it.
if I can interject here, Natasha, uh, uh, please try to stay away from the residential sales. Okay, when it comes to warranties,
Gotcha.
a lot of the
Okay.
warranty companies now will not do it. So
Yeah,
Right.
we a lot of times it falls back on the dealer, and we ask, okay, we know that none of our service companies will go to the residents. Do you have one that will go there? So again, from JES's perspective, a little bit tougher because you're shipping product all over the country and you don't have a set servicer like Kansas City or St. Louis or Florence would. You know what I mean? So we do
Right.
rely on you guys for that. Otherwise, we're going to turn the warranty down. It's because we won't be able to get a service company to go in and do it.
Understood. Any more
Um,
questions for Jeff?
so
Looks like we're
again,
good. Go ahead.
why two lines, and what are the differences between Grista and U-Star? Two primary differences. Grista is painted white aluminum interior, just like True. I mean, and that's the way I say it, guys, because I don't look at it as a negative. U-Star is stainless steel. Um, Grista has typical track shelving and K clips, where on the U-Star we used raised rails and shelf slides. If you can see the picture of the U-Star, the one on the right, you'll see that the tray slide goes from front to back. It actually supports the whole entire shelf. It just allows you more weight on the unit itself, and it does allow and it does create and force for the customer to move product away from the sidewalls of the unit so that air circulation can take place. Natasha, do you have access to the Avantco buying guide? I know it's a terrible
I
thing to
do.
bring up on, but I think this is a
I
really
did
good
ask
tool.
Rick. I did reply back. I'm sure you saw it yesterday,
I
but I
saw it.
replied
I
back. He was like,
laughed.
"Why is that on there?"
Yeah,
So yeah,
this is
I've got it.
yeah.
Go ahead.
So this is on here to show the two differences between what you guys are selling and what Webstron is selling, right? I mean, Webstron's still way number one, way out in front of K-Tom. So that is your major competition. I think we all agree on that. When we look at the Avantco buying guide, guys, there's only 4 factories in China that manufacture commercial China at our level. There's a bunch more, but only at our level. There's only 4 of them over there. So it just happens that Avantco and Admiral Craft are in the same factory. So when we're saying that it is an apple to an apple, it really is an apple to an apple in terms of what the unit is. Now, how do we separate, and why did I tell you that? Because when you're competing against the first one, the one on the left, which is their A series, A stands for aluminum, A versus Grista, right? Because Grista is the aluminum interior. So when your customer is looking at an A product from Webstron, you obviously want to move him straight to a Grista, and now you want to point out the similarities. Both solid door, both stainless steel, both aluminum interior, both, Dixel controllers. I mean, so you're going to see the similarities. However, the big difference is the warranty. Avantco warranties their A series for 1 year parts and labor, while you guys get 2 years parts and labor. So if the magic price is, and I don't know where it's at today, $1,469 on a 1-door, you, in my opinion, you automatically are going to win the sale, by matching, because you're going to give them an extra year of warranty. But you're giving them an extra year of warranty. That should bring another price to it. And again, this is up to your pricing team, but that's how I look at it. We're offering an equal to with a better warranty. It's worth at least an extra $100 or $150 to the price of the unit, which again moves you from a position of making 26% gross margin to maybe 31% gross margin. So it does make a difference to understand that, hey, yeah, I'm giving you an equal product, but my warranty is better. So therefore, I can justify the price if you know what I mean. When we look at their one, and I'm having trouble seeing it because I'm on my phone. Okay, so the furthest to the right, when you see the SS series, the SS series is our U-Star. Stainless steel interior, raised rails, shelf slides from front to back, 2 years, 5 years, same as us. Now, again, you literally are comparing an apple to an apple, and now you've got to. This is where you have to fight to make a little bit more margin. But those are the two equals. We do not have a plus series or an A plus series that does not exist in our product offering. Just like Main Street does not exist in our product offering. We've toyed with the idea of getting into a Main Street type product, and Natasha, that's probably a conversation for you and Rick and I, or you and Rick to have later. Do you really want something that only has a 6-month warranty out on the street? I don't know the answer to that question. I think it's something that we all need to kind of figure out. Any questions on the comparisons between us, U-Star, Grista, and the Avanco pieces? Pretty self-explanatory once you kind of comprehend it. Okay, and now if we could go back to the main one, Natasha, and we'll just cover warranty and service. Yeah, Rick, this still isn't corrected here. We still have 1 year parts and labor. It should be corrected to 2 if we make a note for that. Everything Admiral Craft wise is covered 2 years parts and labor. We deal with a company called NSA, National Service America. Very, very important to pick up this point. This is a call center. It is not a technical support center. We have live folks picking up the phone at that 877 number, taking down all of your customers' information. The key to getting prompt service, number one, we need a picture of the data plate. That gives us all the pertinent information that we need. Number two, we need a copy of your invoice to your customer. We do not track serial numbers. We base it off of our customer's invoice to their customer. And number three, what's the problem? And you obviously, we need to know what the problem is, and then the contact information of who did they call, how can we troubleshoot it, what is going to be our fastest plan of action to get your customer up and running. Time frame, we try to return phone calls that come in. Morning calls, we try to return in the afternoon. Afternoon, we try to return that afternoon or the next morning. We try to dispatch within 24 to 48 hours. Optimally, we're up and running within 48 hours. That's optimally where we want to be. If you are in outlying service areas, guys, and if you know services in your area, give us a heads up. Let Rick or I know, hey, you can use this guy. He's really responsive to us. I know that we have that access in Kansas City and St. Louis. I'm sure we have it down in Florence as well. But just the input from you really, really helps whenever we're in an outlying area and it's not a major city. And I think we all know what I mean. Any trouble with warranty, any issues, any problems getting return phone calls, please don't hesitate. Just email Rick as soon as you can. The faster you get Rick involved with it, the faster that Rick can get answers and get your customer up and running. Rick and I kind of both believe of the 3 strikes you're out deal. If we service a unit 3 times and it goes down, we replace the unit, unless it's an extenuating circumstance. Guys, communication is always the best rule of thumb with us. We want to keep lines of communication open. Can't help you if we don't know what the problem is.
That's right. Hey, I would like to throw something in here. Natasha, I'm going to have this sheet fixed and reflecting the 2-year parts and labor warranty. Is there a chance you could broadcast that out to everybody so they could?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
To send that out there.
I'll get it as soon as you. Yep, as soon as you get it sent to me, I'll send it with the follow-up documents after this meeting.
Yeah, I'll be traveling today. It probably won't happen today, but I'll try to get it done by Monday. Okay. I think it's important that everybody get this. And then the other thing I'd like to say is, everybody knows where I came from, and when it comes to warranty and service, we really don't have that many problems. I mean, our I'd say, Jeff, what is it, less than 2%? service
less
calls
than
that we have on
2%.
our
It is.
refrigeration.
Yep. Yep.
And I'm just really impressed with it. So, just feel comfortable with what you're saying. Selling is what I'm trying to say. And then, doing the service work, but getting in the service calls started the correct way will save a lot of time. So
Saves a lot of time. Yeah. Again, key points, data plate, invoice. Those two things are crucial for us to get the ball rolling quickly. Okay.
Jeff, this is
Okay,
Sheila in Asheville.
Hey, Sheila.
When you guys fix this particular sheet to
Yes.
resubmit to everybody, would you add an email address on there too if you're wanting us to email invoices and
You know
things?
what? That's a great point. Rick, please make a note of that, and we'll add it to the bottom of the warranty and service part. That's a great point, Sheila.
what email
okay,
address,
that's
Jeff?
what Tom.
So
that's
it would
what
be
Thomas was
support
actually
at.
asking
Support.
too.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, it'd be support at admiralcraft.com.
I'll take care of all that. Make it simple for you. Okay.
Yep. If there's no other questions, we can move on to gas. Should be the next slide.
Sorry. Yep.
There we go. Okay, guys. So Black Diamond gas equipment, full lineup, not completely full, but a really good representation of gas equipment. Fryers, three sizes, 90, 120, 150,000 BTU in both LP and NG. Ranges, three regulars, a 4, a 6, and a 10, and then three combos. Guys, what you see is what you get. If everything's on the right. So if you want the griddle on the left side, it doesn't come from us. I don't want to be rude about it, but the box is made in China, that you can't make. They don't make changes over there. We could certainly get that if we wanted it in the future, but there's no changes to anything here. Full-size convection oven with a stacking kit, charbroilers, hot plates, and griddles. We do heavy duty as well as a standard duty, stock pot burner, and then salamanders. So kind of a complete lineup on for everything that we have. Like to point out right now, when we're talking about the product, everything comes natural gas, with the exception of the three fryers. The three fryers you will buy LP or NG. Everything else you will buy NG, but every unit has a conversion kit in it. So your customer has the ability to field change the tips and the regulator on all of the gas equipment to make it LP if need be. We put instructions inside the box. It's a manual. Make sure the key to this is make sure that the customer has proper gas flow. Make sure the water column is correct. 90% of our warranty calls on gas equipment are due to inadequate gas supply. If you're number 4 on a lineup, on a manifold, and you're the 4th piece of equipment, and that piece of equipment is not getting enough gas, you're not going to be able to keep the pilot lit. You're not going to be able to use that unit properly. So just to point it out, that is the big one with us. Rick, do you have anything to interject there on that?
No, I just would like to say, the more we can educate the customer at the point of sale, the better off everybody's going to be. Because everybody thinks they know everything. They don't read the manuals. They don't pay attention. They don't use, people to come out and install in some cases. So it's very important that we talk about what Jeff said. There's not a whole lot of moving parts and pieces to gas. So primarily, if the water column pressures are correct, we should be good to go, because they're pretty simple. There's not a whole lot to it. So.
Yeah, typically, guys, we know if we have something that's wrong. I mean, I'm trying to think. Probably 18 months ago, we had a bad run on thermocouples, and we had a couple of containers where we had to replace those units. That just doesn't happen very often. In the 15 years that I'm here, that was the only incident that I can think of where we did have an issue. And again, as we look at this product, cost of ownership down the road. So everything gas carries a 1-year parts, 1-year labor warranty. We do warranty, and we do not depreciate the tank on the fryers, and we do warranty them for a full 5 years. But cost of ownership wise, every component in those units is a Robert Shaw component. So you again, 2 years from now, your customer will have the ability to, or 3 years to service that unit. His cost of ownership should be very minimal.
Yep.
If we could go to the next
comment.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
We've got one comment. So can they are asking if we can get auto quotes loaded with pricing for fryer accessories like the joiner strips, casters, and covers. It helps quite a bit when we want to kind of quote it together and drop ship
Sure.
orders together. So that's kind of a recommendation from our
That-
end to kind of
that
have
is
that
a-
in there.
That is a great recommendation, Natasha. Rick, I see you're making a note of that.
Yeah, I'll take care of that.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get Ben to
Thank
add those added on, but yes, great point, and thank you for pointing that out. Product applications. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if I can throw one more thing in there, whatever y'all do not take a backseat to anybody on our gas, especially our countertop and our ranges and our fryers. The thermocouples, they're attached tightly to the vessel in the fryers, and a lot of the value series fryers that are out there, they're spot welded on there, and that when people use the clean out rods, they knock them off, and then there's a warranty call. We're very securely put together on as far as that goes. And then also, when you're selling our ranges, just remember that there's a couple inches behind that back burner, so they can actually utilize that back burner if they're cooking like a big pot of chili or something like that. There's just some little nuances that we do that separate us from the other value series out there. So
good points, Rick. Good points. Product applications, guys. The only application that I think that our product doesn't fit into is heavy saute stations at a high-end country club. Anybody that's sauteing all day long. Beyond that, there's not. Rick's right. There's not an application where you should be afraid to sell our products. Again, restaurants, bars, catering halls, nursing homes, community centers, country clubs, on and on and on and on and on. It really has a place everywhere. And when we get into the differences between standard and heavy duty, I'll make more of an emphasis on that. If we go to the next one, do's and don'ts. Again, basic questions: where are you installing the item? How many hours a day are you planning on running the piece of equipment? Why do you want to ask that? Because if the guy has a char broiler and it's his main piece of equipment, and he's running it for 7 hours or 8 hours or 10 hours or something like that, he's really using that piece of equipment. You want to try and sell him cast iron burners instead of U-shaped stainless steel. So you're kind of getting a feel for what the customer is looking for, and again, what his expectations are. And again, another key question: what are they currently using? I mean, what are you using right now? You're using a Star Max. Well, if you're using a Star Max and you try to use a piece of standard duty, the customer is going to be very, very disappointed in the product that you sell him. Whenever you're talking about selling fryers, again, 2 keywords: as soon as they say chicken wings, you guys need to make the move from a 3-burner to a 4-burner, or from a 4-burner to a 5-burner. You're just doing the customer a unless he's only doing a few dozen wings a day. But if it's his primary way of cooking, you want to make sure that you are giving him something that has the BTUs to recover fast enough. And of course, again, it's all based on the volume. How much volume are you doing out of there, so that you can be the good consultant and steer your customer in the right direction. If we go to the next one, competitors. Again, Webstront continues to be at the top of the list. Atosa, Globe is on here. StarMax is on here. Pitco is on here. Toastmasters on here. And Rick, again, there could be more added here as well. But we make that comparison whenever I talk about my heavy duty stuff. I make that comparison to Star Max and Globe. Those are the only two guys out there, the only two manufacturers that actually have the product that we call heavy duty, which is a burner every 6 inches, and it's cast iron. It's a straight cast iron burner with a cast iron radiant with a cast iron grate. So it's a beautiful, wonderful piece of equipment. Rick's heard me say this for the last year that he's been with us. Guys, you sell my heavy duty, the heavy duty countertop gas into any establishment you want, I guarantee the sell. I guarantee that the customer likes it. I guarantee it performs the way they want it to work. No questions asked. I'll take it back. That's all I can say. It just works that good. It's just that good of a piece of equipment. If we could slip over to product features, which is next. Comes with fry baskets, stainless steel front, galvanized sides. We're talking about the fryers. We do use heavy duty legs. Casters obviously are available. When we talk about the ranges, Rick mentioned the extra 1 3/4 that you pick up on the back deep edge or ledge of that item. One great thing about our product, guys, when you look at it and you feel the black diamond, everything's finished. So the bull nose is finished. It's just not bent metal, just hanging under there. It's actually completely finished. The whole bull nose is finished. Same thing with the backsplash and built-in shelf. Again, everything is welded, everything is fit, all the corners are turned over. So it really makes for a very well built piece of equipment, because again, you're not going to have those hollow, like some guys on economy equipment, they just curl the front for a bull nose. Now we don't. We bend it over, we crimp it, and then we weld it into place. Standard size ovens, 2 racks in each oven. Again, comes with heavy duty stainless steel legs. Workhorses, great pieces of equipment. And again, I can't speak highly enough of the quality. We just make a great product. I don't know if anybody from FRS besides Sheila's on here, but Don Ball and his team have been selling it for 6 or 8 years. And Sheila, I don't know if you can attest to it, but I just think that we've had great luck with selling the product. We don't have a lot of issues with it.
You're absolutely right. We have not had a lot of issues with it. And we've sold it into a variety of different places. And when people look at it, they're generally impressed. We don't have, it doesn't look like crap.
Right.
It's a good looking piece of equipment.
Rick Larkin has made the comparison whenever he first came over. You knock around an Atosa fryer and then lift it up and jiggle it around, and then you grab one of ours. It's a different piece of equipment. Rick, you would agree, right? Heavier duty. You're muted, buddy.
I absolutely agree with that. Like I said before, you don't take a backseat to anybody with this. So.
Yeah, the gas, you should lead with confidence, guys. You really should. Not going to have problems with it. If we go to the next slide, we're looking at spec comparisons. When we look at the Black Diamond griddle and we compare it to the Atosa or the CPG or the Star Max, you will see that our cooking depth is deeper. Our plate thickness is as thick or thicker. Obviously, the widths are the widths, and the material is the material. But the key thing to pick up on is we draw our analogy and our comparison from a 22-inch depth griddle, and then we move over to Star Max and we see 20.5. Right, that's the cooking surface. When you look at an Ultra Max, it goes to full 24 inches. So again, we stop 2 inches short of the big guys, the Keatings and the Vulcans of the world. So we stop 2 inches short, but we're 1.5 inches or 2 inches better than everybody else in that category, especially for the price point. Again, guys, you sell this into an establishment, I guarantee the price, or I guarantee the product. You look at our 60-inch unit, you will be totally impressed by the pricing and the quality of the unit, because they're just absolute workhorses. And again, I don't think we showed in this one, but when you compare the char broilers, it really makes a big difference. Actually, the next slide shows it.
I had a question on the griddles.
Yes.
Is the one griddle deeper than the other on your line? Because you do carry two different models, I believe.
Yeah. Yes, they are. So the standard duty is going to be that 19 3/4 inch depth versus the 22-inch depth. And I'm talking standard duty versus heavy duty. So my standard duty depth wise matches up with everybody else that we were looking at, with where Atosa is and Avanco is and CPG. The heavy duty is the separator. Heavy duty, I view it, and again, there might be more, but I view it as only there's two major competitors for us in that category. Number one is Globe. Number two is Star Max. So as we look at heavy duty versus standard duty, and again, you can really see it on the char broiler side. You can see the heavy duty. You can see how many knobs we have. It's every 6 inches versus every 12 inches on the standard duty. Standard duty has U-shaped stainless steel burners and black steel radiants, right? The heavy duty has cast iron burners and cast iron radiants, and the burners are every 6 inches. And the grate weighs probably 30 or 40% more on heavy duty than it does on the standard duty. Griddles, when we look at those, again, we go from 1 inch depths. 1 inch thicknesses versus 5/8 or 3/4 inches on our manuals, on our standard duty manuals. Again, there's nothing wrong with the manual standard duty griddles or char broilers. It's a great concession item. It's a great item if you're going up against Webstront or K-Tom. Or you're in that's a Toastmaster type quality product. That's an APW quality product. So that's where you're at with our standard duty. When that whole arena, only our heavy duty moves us up one level. Does that make sense? Must. And then we go to the next page, which is our warranty page. Same exact call center, same exact telephone number. Obviously, gas is 1 year parts, 1 year labor. 2 key pieces of information: picture of the data plate, picture of the invoice to your customer. That's all we need. And again, what's wrong with the item? That's a big thing. They are going to ask, guys, when you do gas, who did install the unit, because we as a manufacturer, and one way that we try to keep our costs down is not by not doing warranty work that we don't have to do. Did they have professional installer do it? Did a service company install it? Did they check the water column whenever they installed the unit? It's gonna be the first thing that the guy checks whenever he comes is the gas pressure. Am I correct with that, Rick?
Absolutely.
Natasha, that takes us through the gas and the refrigeration. If anybody has any questions on gas and refrigeration, let's holler it out right now. Otherwise, we can kind of move into, and it doesn't matter in sequence you bring up the next slides. I can talk about them as you bring them up.
There's the
Okay,
food warmer.
Yep, absolutely. Guys, super hot price, $69.99. Natasha has been buying these at JES for probably 15 years. It is our #1 selling SKU, has an 18-month warranty, 6 months longer than anybody else out there. Rick and I put our food warmer up against anybody. In all seriousness, you can compare it to a Volrath, you can compare it to a Nemco. You put our product into service, the unit is one. Okay, immersion blenders, stick blenders. We came out with these about a year ago. Warranties handled the same way, 1 year parts and labor. It's actually a 1 year full replacement warranty. Copy of the invoice, picture of the data plate. That's all we need. Cut the cord, throw.
Pardon, guys. So howdy, guys. I'm really happy to get in front of all of y'all to say hello. Some of you I've met in travels over the last couple of years. Also with me on the call is April Annaboli from RoboCoupe. She's our new marketing manager, and would like to welcome her to kind of learning about who you guys are and how we can support you better in the field. We wanted to introduce a few of our fantastic products and of our top movers, the things that are a easy sale for you guys because they're very common in the marketplace and you can be very competitive with. So I'm going to start with our R2. This is actually an R2 dice machine, and I'll bring it up a little bit closer here so you guys can see. Now, not all R2s are created equal. We have the regular R2 or R2N, as many of you will know. It would be the bowl, the motor base, the continuous feed hopper, and a 4mm slicer and a 2mm grading plate. If we were to get the dice, it comes with a little bit taller motor shaft, so it's actually a different machine. It'll have the bowl, it'll have the continuous feed, the 2 blades that were standard, and it'll also include a 10x10 dicing plate. That's for the dice only. Unfortunately, dice is a different model, and it's also a 4-letter word. I've had to find out the hard way when somebody wanted to dice with a machine that was not capable of it. This also becomes one of the easiest upsells that I've found with a RoboCoupe, because when somebody calls and asks and they say, I need a RoboCoupe, we default really to R2. The easiest question to ask at this point is, do you dice? That brings us into the R2 dice model. They do get the dice blade included. They also get the dice cleaning kit that was previously a $350 list increase. So this is called D-Clean. It's now included for free with all of the machines that have the capability to dice. So it would come with an R2 dice as well for cleaning the dicing grid. I want to touch on the MP series and the CMP series. We do something different with stick blenders or with immersion blenders. And we'd like to talk about how RoboCoupe really is a different partner in the marketplace. We build a different machine. We build something that's a lot more serviceable, a lot more reliable, and has some features that are designed for it to be cleanable and usable long-term in your facility or in your client's facility. First of all, this breakaway bell housing to make it easy to clean the machine. Also, if you notice that I didn't have a cord on this one, that's not because we cut it off. That's because I have it here. It actually has a plug set, and we can plug this in to the back of the machine. It also removes so that the cord is easy to change and to replace the cord, and you can sell the replacement as well. We know that that's one of the most common failure points with all of the immersion blender category is that they hang them by the cord or do something silly, and they don't treat this well, and it ends up going bad and taking down their machine. Other things that we do, because we have this breakaway bell housing for cleaning, we send a tool with every machine for them to actually remove the blade and be able to clean more thoroughly behind there. They can also replace the blade or sharpen the blade if need be. I think that we're the only one in the marketplace with a modular blade system currently. So some other things is we include the small things. There's a wall bracket for mounting your machine on the wall, so you don't have to hang it by the cord. With the MP 350 and 450, two of our most common sellers, MP 350 being a 14-inch shaft, MP 450 being an 18-inch shaft, the best in 5-gallon buckets, and also our most popular model. You can get a 3-point handle as an accessory. This is in auto quotes, and you can add it to your purchase. So for a smaller operator physically that doesn't have the size to pick it up, they can use this 3-point handle and make it easier to operate. Some of the other things that we have are accessories for your immersion blender. This one goes on a thin wall pot or on a bucket to hold the immersion blender above the bottom and to support the machine while it operates. This works with all of our CMP and our MP models. And if you'd like more information, please reach out to RoboCoupe. You can either contact me directly or you can
Hey, real quick.
Excuse me?
Can you hear me? There's a question. Yes. How can you take the power cord off of the immersion blender 450?
Wonderful. Great question. So if you look on the bottom of the handle right here, there's a little dimple, and we have a small tool that comes with the replacement cord, and it presses in right here, and it releases the cord so the cord doesn't stay locked on the machine. Fantastic question. Thank you. So RoboCoupe, always, if you need one of our selection guides, we're going to send this out digitally as part of an information packet. If you ever need the hard copy, please send the request to us. You can use my email for now, and we can get them right out. Neat thing is that our product family, starting with R2 being in combination processors and our immersion blenders, different tabs, they're really easy to find. We try to make it easy. There's a ton of information in this guide. And again, you'll all have this available to you immediately after this in a link so that you can find what you need and that you don't have to carry the whole book around. If you'd like for handing out to customers, we have our MIDI catalog. This one is a fantastic resource, but just a little smaller format, not as heavy to carry around. And we want to go one more machine we want to talk about, CL50. In the last couple years, this has become one of our fastest moving and fastest growing machines. The CL50 Gourmet that I have in front of me is a little bit different because it offers the ability to do 2 specialty cuts that the standard CL50 doesn't offer. Those are waffle cuts or gaufrette and brunoise or micro dice. These CL50 machines standard come with a 3mm grater and a 3mm slicing disc. That's our 2-disc pack. In this year's catalog and in 2025, one of our newest things is to have a unit called CL50 Ready. CL50 Ready includes a couple of extra discs, including our most common dicing solution, our 10x10 dice, and it also includes the standard 2-disc, 3mm slice and 3mm grate, as well as a 6mm julienne blade. All of those machines, like the R2 dice, will get the free dice cleaning kit or included in the kit. This works with 5 different sizes of dice, 5, 8, 10, 12, and 14mm, which are our common sizes of dice. This machine also gives us the capability, any of the CL50 series, to do French fries. And we have our new 6mm French fry kit. And we can do, in like this machine, CL50 Gourmet, we can do 2 potatoes at a time and very quickly cut French fries. If we were working with a standard CL50, we can use it in conjunction with the Easy Loader hopper that I have here. This goes in the top of the machine and secures itself, and we can feed potatoes quickly, about 3.5 or 4 minutes per case. Very easy to use and removes a lot of repetitive motion injury from the kitchen and from the operator's issues. We also have 2 other products that are easy. We have the Easy Clean Express, and I'm happy to show you how this works in just a moment. This is for dice cleaning. This one is size specific. It's a bit of an upgrade to the general one, to the D-Clean itself. As with this one, you would take the dicing grid, you would place it sharp side up in the basin, and then you're going to work through the 4 positions here on the top, 1, 2, 3, 4. As it moves through the product in the grid, it finishes processing the product, and it captures the product after it's cut. So you have something you can add back into your batch, and you reduce the waste by 10 to 14 ounces per time that you cut vegetables and clean the disc. Normally, if you're cutting tomatoes or cutting something like that, you're only going to clean the grid 1 time per batch. but it still saves quite a bit of waste. In the machine right now, I have this green easy stacker. The easy stacker allows us to slice tomatoes, and then as it slices, it's going to slide down and it's going to stack itself back together like a tomato, so it can be picked up easily. So it can be picked up as a tomato again, and it can be stacked in your prep pan easily. So with all of the CL50 line, there are magnetic safeties. There's a magnet safety here at the front of the machine on the latch, so that it latches down and that there's no chance of somebody getting injured here. There's also a magnetic safety at the top of the hopper here to tell when the foot is out of the way, and it has a brake so that the machine won't stay running when this opens. All we're going to do is place the tomato in, down, and you can see the tomato just slid right out. Pull the first ones that are just a little bit stiff. Once it gets a little bit of tomato moving, it moves very easily. Here's all of the tomato, nice, evenly sliced, very easily done and stacked back together as a tomato. This makes it kind of a breeze to do this process. We know that there's a lot of operators out there, not just in the burger space, but in the sandwich market and things like this, that need a solution like this. Even schools use this solution as they like to shingle things out for the kids to pick up as they go through the tray line. So it can be a really interesting opportunity to add on to a CL50. CL50 has 54 different available blades currently, including 13 slices of slice, 5 sizes of French fry, not just the 6x6 millimeter that we have here, but a large selection. All of that is pictured in the selection guide that you'll be getting digitally, and we'll be able to help you with that. Can you give me just one moment while I change the blade in the machine, and we'll be right back. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to take those now.
Any questions from anyone?
So does anybody know the most important part of how Roku goes to market? We support live demonstrations in your client's facility. So I need your help to make it possible to reach out to more clients and to get in front of them, because a lot of them don't even know that the Roku solutions beyond R2 exist in the marketplace, and we'd like to introduce them. So very easy, no tools required, just a moment to change a blade. I put one of our dicing grids in the machine. It's a 10 millimeter by 10 millimeter or 3/8 dicing grid. I'm just going to pull hopper open. I'm going to go ahead and lay these in here. I've got 3 or 4 of these zucchini, and I'll show you how easy it is to dice with the Roku CL50. Have a look at the consistency and at the cut quality of the product. It's fantastic. That would have taken somebody at least 4 or 5 minutes to cut by hand. It makes it very easy for somebody to save a ton of time and effort during prep, and really to be able to focus on the other tasks in their kitchen. So what I was talking about earlier is there's always going to be some material left in the blade after the blade is used. We're going to take the Easy Clean Express. We're going to place the blade sharp side up. There's a little place for the index tab that's on the edge of the disc. Then we're going to start and we're going to work through the 4 positions. 1, 2, 3,
Hey, Jay, it's Scott Hall. I got a quick question for you.
Sure.
So who do we contact in Florida now? You may have already went over this. Who do we contact in Florida now since Vesma's been sold and you guys are still interviewing? Who do we contact for a rep?
Right now, please reach out to me directly, Scott. We are in a position of transition because of Vesma and their changing ownership and how that works. But we should have an answer for you before NRA. But please, for right now, everybody can direct that communication to me.
Okay, so you guys are in the process of interviewing?
Yes, we are.
Okay, I would put my foot forward for Sun Marketing. They're great for us on every level, and they really do well with us moving forward. Or Finn Food Service. I just needed to make sure we had some clarity on that.
I like it, very much appreciate the recommendation, and I know that we've been talking with them. I'm not sure exactly where that'll stand, and I think most of that decision might be made above my head, but I will definitely communicate up that feedback. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jay. Have a great day.
Yes. So again, we have the product that you can see here. This was what was left in the blade that's now completely cut and can be added back into our batch. Fantastically easy solution for dicing, slicing, shredding, grating, julienne, even your waffle cuts and brunoise, dicing of multiple sizes, even 5 sizes of French fries. Guys, what kind of questions or how or where can we help you guys?
Okay, would you mind to touch on the 450 combo stick blender, please?
So the combo machine is everything that you see here. I'm sorry I don't have it handy here, or I would grab it and show you guys. It changes a little bit. The combo, actually, this shaft detaches at the top, and you can add on a beater assembly. That beater's assembly comes with all metal gears. It is not a plastic or a Teflon style gear. It works quite well. It's quite robust, and it becomes, at that time, one of our variable speed models. The standard MP450 that I have here, or MP450 Turbo as it's sometimes called, that machine is a single speed. It's either on or off at about 12,600 RPM. With the combo models or any of our models that have a VV in the product name, that product would have a variable speed.
Thank you.
Yes, Natasha?
No, I said thank you.
Okay. Does anybody know what ultra means when we talk about RoboCoupe? So RoboCoupe, when we say ultra, it means stainless steel. So if you have an R2N or an R2 Ultra, the difference would be the R2N is going to have the gray plastic bowl like the hopper here, and the R2 Ultra is going to have a stainless steel bowl and then the gray plastic continuous feed. This would also carry over in our CL50 models. If it's a CL50 Ultra, it means it's going to have a stainless versus a plastic shroud at the base. And some of our not only military, hospital, and chain customers demand this for cleaning. So an CL50E has a plastic shroud at the base, whereas the R2 Ultra would always have a stainless bowl. A CL50 Ultra is going to have a stainless base. Does anybody know how many different food processors RoboCoupe makes? The total line, how many? Price is Right rules. Anybody want to guess?
15.
Okay, I'll give you a hint. Just in the immersion blender category, we have 21 sizes currently, including two new sizes for braising pans. They're called TP, or for tilting pans. Did anybody else have a guess?
We had a guess of 17.
17. Okay, so there's more than
47
130 processors. that are currently made by Coupe and distributed here in the US and worldwide. So guys, tell me if there's any other questions, or if we can, if there's any, market questions, who this applies to, where you're seeing somebody have struggle with labor, especially for prep tasks.
I guess, Jay, if you want to touch on, so if the salespeople they go into a location and they really want to ask specific questions, maybe 2 or 3 questions to the customer that would help them to lead toward making that food processor or that RoboCoupe purchase with the food processors or the dicers, your products. What would those questions be?
Well, if they're talking to someone who's there and who's knowledgeable about the operation, the very easy question is, how are you approaching food prep now? Are they buying bagged vegetables or things that are pre-cut that are delivered to them? Because those items generally come with a very low food quality as they deteriorate because of being cut. They also generally carry a very high price because there's a convenience fee. So that one really kind of centers you on, where are they spending? Are they spending on labor, or are they trying to minimize labor? And how that works. The other questions that I might ask, if depending on what I see, is, are they familiar with RoboCoupe, and do they know that R2 exists? Most people know or identify with R2 in the food service space, and they'll say they know RoboCoupe and they know this and this one machine. They've really never seen even our stick blenders or CL50 or the other breadth of the line. We're not talking about things that are specifically designed for healthcare like Blixer in this training, but there are a lot of other products that RoboCoupe makes. Our juicers, which are a fantastic idea for a juice bar or something like that, and was even featured on our selection guide this year.
Jay, do you want to cover the warranty for the immersion blenders in the 2 through 4?
Thank you, April. I really appreciate that. As a prompt, our stick blenders have a 1-year no hassle replacement warranty. And I think this is interesting for you guys because we get you back to selling and not taking care of service problems or issues. So they're going to call directly into RoboCoupe. They're going to go through just a couple of questions from our service team that are going to ensure that there's no environmental factors like a GFCI or a bad breaker or something like that leading to a machine failure. If it's decided by that team that the machine needs to be repaired or at that time has issues, they're going to freight out a brand new one directly to the customer with a pickup tag so that the customer can place that machine back in the box that came with the new one and send it back to us. This is a no hassle warranty. That no hassle warranty applies to every stick blender that we make. It also applies to the R2 through R4 series of food processors that we work with, the combination food processors. So that would be the R2, R2 Dice, R301, R401, and R402 models that we would be able to service that way. They'll go through a short checklist. If it's deemed that there's a problem with the motor base, we send a motor base only at that time. So no bowl, no blade, those parts are not included, but the motor base and getting them back up and running as quickly as possible is our focus.
There's a question, is the wire covered in the warranty? I'm guessing for the MPs.
Is the cord covered? Not in the 1-year warranty because we don't know how they've treated it once it's left us. So replacing a cord would not be a warranty, something covered by warranty, but replacing the cord is about $80. So it's far less expensive than replacing or for taking this to a service agent.
Any more questions? One thing I would like to ask for April or Jay, if you all have it, when I had asked earlier about the questions to ask, and you're, insinuating or trying to assist the customer with labor cost, if you've got any comparisons, like in how much labor cost or something of that
And
nature
that's
that
where
that
we would love
RoboCoop would
to help
save
you out,
customers.
and is that we can
Okay.
learn or discover that together during that on-site demonstration where we could go, we can
Okay.
work through their prep list. It would be finding out how they're doing labor and how they're approaching this so that we could get in front of them and work with you to move that sale forward.
Awesome. Okay.
We are going to send out some information, including a packet of resources that includes our digital guide. We're also going to be sending out a link for you all as you need to sign up to our after service support site. This is a fantastic resource for any parts or pieces that you may need for a specific machine. You can actually search from the first 3 digits of the serial number and be able to find all of the parts and information, availability, and list pricing for those items.
Great. Any more questions for Jay on RoboCoop?
Does
All right.
everybody know
I believe
something
you've
about
covered it all.
Go ahead, April.
Oh, that wasn't me. That was Natasha, I think.
No, yeah, it was me. Okay. Yeah, go ahead with what you were saying. I think I cut you off, Jay. So
No problem. If anybody needs my contact information, you can reach me at jayj@robocouusa.com. Apologize.
he's getting choked up. I did put your contact information when you and Scott were when you all were talking about the rep change in the Florida area. I did put your contact information in the chat for everyone. So anyone feel free to reach out to Jay if you need anything from him.
And just a heads up, after this, we're going to send out an email with some materials that are going to be in a Dropbox link, and then links to our after sales and service website and how you would get a account set up with that, and then a copy of the selection guide and some links to the products that were featured on our YouTube channel, just so you can kind of have a visualization of some things that we went over and you want a closer look. And then the warranty details are also going to be in the Dropbox materials.
Wonderful. One of the neat thing about those YouTube videos, and our YouTube channel is quite remarkable. Our team at RoboCoupe has done a fantastic job with this. So in a lot of cases where you're trying to introduce this product, they can be an incredibly useful tool to show somebody what the machine actually does and how it works in a 2-minute format or less. That really features what the robust capability of the machine is. That I thank you, April, for reminding me that that's something that we should talk about more, but appreciate that.
For sure.
So remember, guys, that a lot of people out there have older RoboCoupe. You can help them with parts and service, and it's a great way to build the relationship in where you can help them out, and that you can be a resource to them. Our blades and accessories are something that you guys can sell and you guys can compete and make good money with. So don't be shy. If you go somewhere and you ask, hey, do you use a RoboCoupe? And they say yes, that's not a dead end. That's an open door to help them, because everybody who's using one of our machines is going to need blades. They're going to need to refresh those from time to time. And they may be in need of accessories. They may not know that the Easy Clean Express or the Easy Loader hopper or the Easy Stacker for tomatoes even exist or are available, and they may have the machine already. So don't give up there, and help us help you to connect with them and find out what we can do for them.